everybody, we're clenched and ready to go. Welcome, everybody, to the Venture Maidens podcast. Look, everybody can hear us. All the mics are going right. Huzzah! Hey, everybody. Wow, I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy you're here at our brand new 7 p.m. start time, 7 p.m. Pacific start time. I'm excited to get into it. So, hey, everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich, and I'm going to be your Dungeon Master.
I'm Brittany, and I'm going to be Arnadel, the Moon Elf Warlock.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I'm going to be playing Faravalin, the Tiefling Sorceress.
Hi everyone, I'm Nassim Etamad, and I'm playing your human monk, Sayanor, trying to save a cup from being knocked over by my cat right now.
Oh no, cute problems.
The eternal stop
struggle.
being cute and annoying.
So good.
And I'm Sage, and I'm your clenched cleric,
Yay!
Cara Brynhilda.
I told all of the maidens to have their butts clenched for this episode, so you know it's gonna be a wild time, everybody. So welcome. Wow. Hey all. It's, I just want to tune in with a quick reminder here. It is currently October 28th, so please fucking vote. If you haven't done it yet by mail, if you don't know where you're going to vote, if you don't know how you're going to vote, you need to look it up right now and get on that because the election is happening soon. So this is your final call. Please vote. Otherwise, we won't love you anymore. If you're a U.S. citizen, otherwise we will still love you. But, you know, that's
Show of hands. Who voted?
Even if you're
I have
international,
voted.
you should still vote in your own country. But
in your own country, always, everywhere. Everybody here has voted. Be cool like the maidens and vote. Yay! Okay, that's that. So we have a lot of stuff to do. Some pretty wild stuff is happening in Venture Maidens. But before we get into that and our recap, I want to tell you all we are running a dice giveaway. It was the return of the dice giveaways, and very exciting news. RPG Dice has generously donated enough dice sets to get us through the next 10 episodes. So theoretically, the end of Venture Maidens, story 1. So that is very cool. So we're starting things off with this awesome giveaway of these very cool red and yellow dice, and I have learned that holding them up doesn't work, so I'm going to show a picture on my screen. Yep. Oh, look at these beauties. So red and gold sparkles with that, like, deep goldenrod sort of color. So stick around. About halfway through the show, we're going to be opening up this giveaway, and then at the very end, of course, we will be drawing the winners. So make sure to stick around so you can enter to win this super sweet set of dice. Yay! Oh, yeah, definitely Saye vibes. Was one of the reasons I wanted to pick these. I think they're very, very cool, very pretty.
we're also about to get into a flame room.
A flame room! Wow, yeah! We have a weird forge icon, so we'll see what that's about. But speaking of, let's do it. Let's dive into the recap. Let's go over what happened last time on Venture Maidens.
Last week.
Last time? Last week? Yes.
So everything was horrible.
Wow.
It was very traumatic, Celeste.
It was a sad episode, and I got very emotional about it at the end, taking it out on the DM.
It was a weird circle of hell where everything was made of wood.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. It was...
I feel really good about last game, you guys, after that feedback. Wow.
I feel like there's that super creepy, like, music box childhood, like, la, 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 like, happening in the background of all of our minds while we're going through it. We're just like...
It's the title track to Rosemary's Baby. That was just playing in the background just the whole time.
Wow.
Brilliant. Yes, we went to the castle, apparently where Jack lives, and we took a whole parade of the whole town carrying balloons and signs that say, "Yay, Jack!" And we made our way to the castle to try and speak to him, and we were greeted with beach balls and a moat made of filled entirely with glue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was
then-
really cute.
It wasn't
It was
anything
aggressive.
scary to start with. It was like a little, playhouse, toy, castle, fortress. And we started to chant, Jack, Jack, Jack. They didn't respond. So I decided, or Saya decided to climb up, scale the walls, and help the maidens. We basically wipe out kind of scenario. The TV show Wipeout bounced across these giant beach balls over the moat. And Saya scaled the castle wall to get to the other side, lowered the drawbridge, and we started navigating the castle and eventually found Jack, who was a sad boy toy who just wanted to be a real boy. And we needed to bring him back with the keeper, who he had held hostage. And we convinced him, as long as we promised him that we would bring him back into the real world with us. And once returning to the town and returning the keeper to his post, we saw the big key up over his desk that we figured would take us back. And as we transported back into the maze, it seemed that our new friend Jack didn't make the journey with us. And we found ourselves back in the maze with a feeling of loss.
Pretty good. Yeah. So that is where we are diving in today. You had concluded the events of that gate where you had encountered all of these wooden beings, these toys, and you had wormed your way through after, working with Jack and then sort of betraying Jack to get this keeper and getting teleported back out of the maze. But you had been successful. This keeper, in fact, had turned out to be another one of these chess pieces that you have been collecting this whole time. So that keeper there was the Black Bishop, which you now have in your possession. The Black Bishop, and then you also have the White King. And you know that somewhere else in this maze, an individual by the name of Chess is collecting the rest of these pieces. And presumably, once you're all done, you're going to meet in the middle, and everything will be great. So after you had left that gate, you had come to the next one, this final gate that you had agreed to go in while Chess is taking care of the rest of these gates here. And this final gate before you, I think we had ended right as you were about to step into this gate. So as you look at it, it's the same as all the other ones, the same kind of stone, rough-hewn construction. And the icon above it is this hammer with this anvil shape below it. So that's all you've got. And by way of a clue, and this gate stands open and waiting.
Go on in.
Let's get into it. All right, everybody stepping through?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So as you step through this gate, again, that feeling of just part of you being sort of dissolved and then reformed, stepping through mist as you come into a very different place. And as you do so, immediately you realize wherever you are, it's dark. And it takes you a while, to adjust as your dark vision, comes into play and you start to, get a hint of your surroundings. And probably the next thing that hits you is the smell of this room. It's a very musty, dusty sort of smell. It's very peculiar. It smells like if you've ever been somewhere where there's a lot of stuff, or maybe a storehouse, that kind of wafting scent hits you as you look around this room here. And there's no light in this room, so you can just see all of these piles and piles of objects around you. And as you kind of note what they are, the sour note to the smell hits you as you see you're just in this big room that's filled with shoes. Just shoes in these piles and piles all around you, piled up against the walls in these kind of towers that are about to topple over, just everywhere. You're standing on top of them. They're just all around you. So it's the scent of the leather and foot smell, and just very odd as you land on this pile.
Ooh,
They're
that's ripe.
used shoes.
Mm-hmm. Just in no sort of order or theme that you can tell. It's just shoes that have been piled up.
I
How
do
tall?
not like the image that this is putting into my head.
At first, I was real excited, and I was like, "Ooh, are any of them cute?" But that quickly went away.
No.
They are
I think-
certainly used
it's
from the smell.
Yeah, how high
Yeah.
is this pile?
Pretty big. So, I mean, this room here is maybe like a 15 by 15 foot like cube room, and you cannot see the floor. You are sitting like on one of these kind of lower piles that you've scattered on, but in some places, like in the corners of the room, shoes have been precariously stacked up to like almost the ceiling point. But of course, as you move and shift, some of the shoes just fall and move around. It's just a total mess of shoes in this room.
Is there any like doors or anything out of it?
Not that you can see, but there are quite a bit of shoes, so you have a suspicion maybe if you dig, you could probably find a door.
Let's yeah, Kara
Wait,
was
is
gonna take
shoes
her
piled on top of a door?
It's just the room is it's like a ball pit of shoes in this room. So as you're looking around, you can see the ceiling and you see the very tops of the walls, but the rest of it is shoes all over the place.
Kara's gonna take out her shield and she's gonna sort of basically use it as like a shovel to like shove them aside.
Yeah, and you can, you start going towards the walls, and when wall doesn't look promising, you head towards the others, and you manage to form a pile, carving out of the way until you do find a stone door against one wall. It's just a very simple door. It's clearly whoever closed it on the other side had to like press against the shoes and then shove it closed from the other side.
Oh, I found a door over here. Quick, help me dig through this pile and see if we can find a handle or shove it open or something.
Yeah.
All right, and you all do. Again, that just smell wafting out because there are no windows in this room, so it's just closet smell. As you manage
Being
to
kicked up, if you will.
Yeah, as you kicked. Oh, how dare you? We're already starting. Great. So you managed to make a little alcove, holding back the shoes just in time that you can shove the door open. And yeah, it just seems to be a normal door. It's not locked or anything. And as you do pull it open, you can tell that there is a hallway beyond this space. But like this room, there are no lights coming from the hallway. So all you can kind of see is a stone wall just when the crack is open.
All right.
Let's get out of the stank, I guess.
Before we leave, I just want to take note with maybe like a, I don't know, investigation or I don't know. I just want to, are they different sizes? Is it all the same size material? Like I maybe get a read on like, are they whoever has this collection of shoes, is it like the same kind of collection? Like one type of thing that they're collecting from?
Yeah, I think just cursory glance around the room, you can tell. I mean, these are shoes of all kind of stripes and varieties. Shoes of different sizes, shoes that, wouldn't particularly belong to like gendered fashions. So, there's men's boots over there with like a lady's slipper that's mixed in with like, big socks that are sort of like shoes. All kinds of different things from all different cultures and styles and materials.
Any magical shoes?
I think, Arnidal, if you're looking around the room, there are no magical shoes in this pile. Just with your magic eyes, real quick, you can tell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So into this hallway, we don't see much light but a crack at the end of it.
Oh, so like you open up the door crack and you can just see the stone walls of hallway beyond, but if you want to push out, you certainly can.
Yeah, let's bust through. Let's get out of here.
You do. You and some shoes manage to like shove yourselves out of the room. And again, you can close that door, sealing the force of all of these shoes now that you aren't there to hold it back. And you find yourself standing in this hallway that stretches on for a great amount of distance on either side. So far that beyond your range of vision, very comfortably this hallway continues, and this hallway is just lined with identical doors, completely identical to the door that you just shut, just door after door after door in this eternity of hallway.
Let's open one up. First one to the right.
All right.
What's behind door number 1?
So you go ahead and you open up the door immediately to the right. And as you do, you hear clattering of metal. And as you open it up, just pots fall towards you onto the floor with just this huge amount of clattering noise as just saucepans and pots and skillets of all varieties just pour out of this room and kind of settle around your feet.
Got a hoarder on our hands.
I love that puppet show.
The hoarder puppet.
All right.
I just want to can we just go down and open the next 5 doors one by one?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so you keep on moving and opening up these doors, and one all of these rubber bouncy balls come out. You open up another one. It's
Fun. Oh my god.
it's all gloves. You open up another one, and it's just all porcelain objects. So bathtubs and tiles and things spill out. And it seems that each of these doors that you open has some different specific kind of item or material. Yes, Brittany, with your hand.
Really
finger raised.
important question.
Yes.
I'm going to think back to the shoes and what I glanced, and then the ensuing objects that have they been used?
It does look like all of these objects have been used.
Okay.
So nothing is
Damn.
well, some are new. It's more like thrift store finds, where every once in a while there is one brand new thing in the midst of a bunch, but all still lightly used.
My hypothesis was that the thing that we're facing a maker of some kind, since it was a anvil, the icon was a hammer and anvil looking thing, smithing. I was like, oh shit, this is a maker situation. But then if they've all been if they've been a myriad of different levels of use, I'm like, okay, well, then
I feel
this is more of a collection than
I feel like this is where all the stuff goes when you lose it, and you lose your left sock.
oh,
This is where it ends up. That's my guess.
It's like that guy in Halloween Town. What was his name? There was
Yes.
a character in that movie that was his existence. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, and so you all are kind of, you open up a bunch of doors and you're starting to get the theme of what's happening here. Why don't you all go ahead and make some perception checks for me while this is happening?
ooh,
11.
26.
Okay.
25.
Take my 12, 11.
So then it's Kara and Arnadel who noticed this. Maybe Saye and Farah, are opening up yet another room, and a bunch of tea cozies fall out. When Kara and Arnadel, you pick up a very quiet, very muffled sound coming from one end of the hallway, and I think you turn just in time to see maybe 40 doors down from where you are, this gargantuan form is moving down through this hallway here. And you couldn't hear them until this moment because their body it's vaguely humanoid shaped and very stooped to fit in this hallway, but it seems to be entirely made out of fabric, and there's all of these patchwork fabrics that form sort of this doll-like shape, and as this thing moves and scrapes across the floor, you can see trails of yarn are pulling behind it as its head is this ball of linen that's been kind of rubber banded to make this head shape, and it's shuffling down this hallway here and coming right for you all.
In an aggressive way, or just a
It's hard to tell because it doesn't have a face per se. It's this thing that's just made out of all of these different scraps of cloth, but it is moving quite ferociously, I guess.
Okay.
It's it's hunched over, so it's this very horrifying thing that's dragging its hands along the floor here, as you can see these twine and thread coming towards you, pulling itself down this very small hallway.
grab Kara's arm and just look at her and be like, You see
She
that?
pulls out her axe and and fixes her shield up on her arm and goes, "Well, it's either gonna talk to us or it's gonna hit us, and I'm fine with either."
Okay, we'll wait for it to talk, and you're obviously waiting for it to hit. Obviously I turn around and look at Saya and Farah and just like, hey guys. Up ahead. Hey.
So I'll say this hallway is about 10 feet wide, so maybe two of you could stand on one side. So who are the two in front and who are the two behind? Or is it just Kara in the front?
I'll stand up with Kara.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I assume if they saw it, we'll be in the back.
Yeah,
we-
once
we
they
were
point
looking
it
at
out, you
Tiku.
can like whoop, and you can get eyes on this horrifying thing moving towards you. All right, very cool. Let's roll some initiative.
Ooh,
Into it.
It's gonna hit.
Stand by.
Oh no.
18.
24.
Okay, 18
What?
for Farah, 24 for Saye, 9 for Arnadel. Was that?
No,
Oh.
that's gonna be a 7.
Oh boy. And what was that, Kara?
8.
Wow, guys. Glad you're in the front. Okay.
Well, I mean maybe that's a beneficial, so we can see what the fuck this thing wants. Maybe,
Sure.
maybe. Like, since we did just roll for initiative, who knows? Who knows?
All right. So this creation, this fabric monstrosity, is now that it sees that you see it, starts to move at an alarming speed as it is coming and sweeping its way down the hallway immediately towards you. So it is running full charge towards both Kara and Arnadel as it is approaching here. And Saye, from the back position here, you actually have the first move.
Okay, I want to try something first just to see if it'll work. I will move ahead of them a good at least 15 feet. And I don't know at that point what its distance is to me, but I want to literally take the shirt off my back and like fold it up nice and neatly. And as like a diplomatic gesture, like offer it to this pile of stuff. See if it's interested in collecting things for some safety or some passage. And yeah, I will literally fold it up and gesture the shirt towards the creature.
Sure. So you hold out this shirt from your back towards this thing, and this monstrosity continues to rocket towards you. And just as it gets like large, right in front of you, looming, you can feel the flaps of fabric and the winds that they're creating, almost like a sail. It reaches down its mouth and it kind of splits open with this terror and bites down on your hands that are holding the shirt here, and with a sudden motion pulls its head backwards. And you haven't experienced any pain at all, but this thing starts going as it unravels the threads of your shirt, and you see little pieces of like the orange shirt that you had incorporate into its body, and it lets out a bah kind of sound, and then it sort of freezes and looks at you.
Oh,
This is hungry for some threads.
You've solved my golem puzzle.
oh God, there isn't a diplomacy thing.
I think you made it,
persuasion.
Kara.
Persuasion, yeah. I'll just say, I hope you enjoyed that. We'd happily give you any more other tokens for safety as we try to navigate our way through these halls and doors. We just want to find our way out. We do not wish to hurt you.
All right.
Where the keeper is.
We are seeking a keeper.
Yeah, what kind of check would you like to use to I would accept animal handling. I would accept persuasion. What else?
I mean, I guess we'll do animal handling. I got better numbers.
All right, let's do it.
23.
Oh yeah. So you're making gestures because you're also not sure if this thing speaks so far. So you're making kind of friendly gestures you would at maybe like a very smart dog. And this thing sort of like you see as it's listening to you, like little balls of yarn kind of come up to where it surfaces, and like the little threads sort of spin around like in the air,
Floating.
maybe almost like antenna, as it's, you know, kind of listening to you. And it does like kind of shrink down to one size, and looks around at your companions and sort of makes a like a rustling gesture that seems sort of inquisitory.
Does it-
I will turn back to my companions and say, maybe offer it something and also imply you'd like to just
Who-
move peacefully through here.
Who has one of the like chess pieces? Who's carrying those?
I think Saye
think
was the one
Saye,
I think I
'cause
am.
you
Yeah,
got
the-
the bag.
Okay, I like pull out of my bag like I don't know some fucking a pair of socks or something that I have. So I'm gonna pull and like nice wool ones. They're like it's of elven
Nice.
quality.
Oh, yeah. So
They are nice.
It reaches over, and its head, you know, burbles up and opens up like the seams of a burlap sack, and once again, like closes around your arms and kind of.
I'm
ends.
holding it like a treat, you know, like above its reach, and I'm like, let me have one of those pieces.
And you have no idea what it's doing, but it manages to like warp its form very quickly and grab it, because this thing seems to be able to transform as it is using like the components, you know, the pieces of clothing, the pieces of fabric, the scraps, to alter and shape its form to be bigger, larger, have tendrils, tails, whatever it is, as
It's
it
like the
consumes your-
shambling mound of fabric.
Sort of, yeah.
So I'm basically trying to encourage it to like this for this.
Oh, so you're
with the,
holding up
like-
the piece.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like get its attention with the fine elven socks that I have.
I see.
I'm not particularly keen on parting with them, but you know, desperate times. And I'm gonna have that chess piece. I'm like, this is what we're looking for. Like, here you go as a treat. Like, help us find this.
All right. Make me a check here. I like it. Maybe animal handling. I'll give you with advantage because I think this is pretty good. This is pretty good
Dog
stuff.
training. Arnadel's dog training 101.
Yeah, 101.
My lips hurt too. It's been so dry here. Okay, what did you say? Animal handling or performance?
Animal handling,
Okay.
for sure.
Oh, ooh.
It's pretty good.
I mean, it's a natural 20. Do you want me to add my modifier?
I think that's good. I think that's good. So
I
you're
got a
doing
nat
that,
20.
and you know it kind of like snaps at the socks, and you're like, ah, you pull them away, and you know give the thing, and you see it this creature. It pauses, and then some of those yarn tendrils come out, almost like sensors, and they very delicately like wrap around the chess piece, and kind of like it's almost like a buffing movement it's doing.
Aw.
And then you know the yarn retracts into its form again, and this thing kind of it does like an up and down, where it becomes like a thin column and then a wide pile and a thin column, and then opens up its burlap mouth.
I give it one of the socks, and I'm like, "Can you show us the way?" Also, Alistair Fitzpatrick, I feel like he's a very well-trained baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I think he's sitting on your head, watching very suspiciously of this other creature. I think
like,
Alistar
I'm just
is
treating this thing like my pseudo dragon. I'm just like,
Mhm.
look,
yeah. I think
I don't have a
Alistar
telepathic bond with you.
is one of those pets who's like okay with other pets, but it takes some time, you know?
Hmm.
Like they're feeling each other out. So Alistar's on your shoulder like
Mm.
whereas this pile of clothes is totally ignoring Alistar. But it gobbles up one of the socks, and you see, you know, it gets incorporated into its form along with, you know, the orange threads of Saya's shirt. And then it makes like this very quick movement heading back down the hallway from the way it came, and then it kind of pauses and stops. And
It
looks
wants us
back
to
at you all.
follow.
Well, let's go.
Arnadel's just
Okay.
fucking so excited right now. Like, let's go, guys. Oh my god.
This place is already 10 times better than the other place.
Yeah,
This is
right.
going so much better.
I am so happy to follow a moving laundry pile down a hall of forbidden doors. Like, so down.
Laundry puppy.
Oh.
It is a laundry puppy. Oh god.
Puppy, new monster.
It's
So
a big noise. Does it
I
like
mean, very
have
little. It's
vocal
like
cords?
if cloth is scraping against stone, so it's a very light amount of noise that this thing makes.
That's a
As it,
lovely noise.
yeah, as it does take off, and once again, it is running. Running? You can't really tell. It doesn't have legs.
Flourishing.
Yeah,
Flapping.
slithering. I don't know. Against this hallway, you know, letting the air like breeze through its sails once again as it puts them out. And every once in a while, it'll stop and wait for you to catch up as you keep just rocketing down this hallway here. And then once again, this creature stops and it starts to do that thing again where it goes really tall and then condenses into a pile and goes really tall, and you all begin to hear a big clanking sound coming from behind one of the doors that bursts open, and you see this equally large creature starts to come out of it and pool into this hallway here. And you can see that its body is formed of all of these dented pieces of metal that I think maybe Kara, even though these forms are twisted and like broken and messed up, you can tell that these are the remains of shields that form the body of this thing as it like condenses out of this doorway and lumbers into this hallway and stands up, and it like beats against its chest with this very, very loud clanging sound as it considers you all.
She is going to beat her axe against her shield, mimicking the way that like the pattern that it did.
And yeah, as the creature does, you know, you see the plates of its skin, which are made of these broken and dented shards of shields, sort of like go still for a moment, and then this thing stands up really tall, and then it bangs once again on its chest, twice this time.
She'll bang 3 times.
And as you do so, you see all the shields like kind of shudder and like, you know, get really small. And then it kind of like scoots back into the hallway, and this little fabric beast you've been following does the like stand up really tall and then go really small sort of thing and shuffles into this door that this broken shield golem just came out of.
Yeah.
You showed that one who's boss.
I'm louder.
I make
Yeah.
metal noise too.
Twice as big. So you move and you follow this creature now into this doorway. And this room, unlike all the others, isn't piled with stuff. This looks like a pretty open entryway, but it is still made of sort of that grayish stone. And you do see a set of double doors on the far side. And these double doors are much nicer than all of the standard doors that you've kind of seen before. You also do see that in one corner of this room is a carved circle on the floor, and you can see all of these different sigils surrounding it here.
Do I recognize any of them?
Ooh, yes. Why don't you both, Arnadel and Farah, give me Arcana checks? Or Farah, if you wanted to do religion check, and Arnadel Arcana, whatever works for y'all.
Sure.
I got an 18 plus 8, so a 26.
Hot girl.
I got a 23 on religion.
Okay, so between the two of you, I think you can learn everything there is to learn about these sigils.
Go smarty pants.
Woo! You can both recognize that this is some kind of like summoning circle that has been carved into this floor, very similar to like a teleportation circle, except this is clearly not active or only activated by a special key or something. But you have no way to open it, unfortunately. You can also tell that the sigils around here, Arnadel, it's very similar to like when you saw the first gate and you saw the sigil that it had for Earth, where it was like this very, very old symbol for the elements. All of these sigils here are extremely old, like out of fashion runes that you would use in spellcasting. You know, they're the ones that use like 15 lines to draw a rune instead of like the modern 4 rune style. So, and it is, again, all for teleportation, that sort of thing, as you were looking at it. So you two can very quickly piece together that's what this is.
I'm going to look at Farah and be like, what are you willing to wager this is our way out?
I look and she looks in her pockets.
I mean, theoretically, I mean, we could just like bet chips. I've just, like,
No.
are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I would love to make some money today.
Oh, I don't have any money. I had to borrow some to get this staff.
Oh,
Britnell is the most broke.
I'm the most broke. It was rhetorical. I just like, right?
Oh.
Like this is a teleport. I'm looking at this as a teleportation circle, right? With
Yeah, I
Christianity.
was kidding. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it looks definitely like it could be for sure our way out of here.
I will also say you both rolled really well, so I think you would also pick up amongst these runes is like a reduce spell. So something that would alter whoever came through this portal.
Okay.
Which is a weird thing to see on a teleportation circle.
Why they gotta be tiny when they go through?
Wait a second. Oh my God. Okay. I turned to the group and I'm like, I love reading fairy tales. I have a feeling, that whole needle in a haystack thought, just a crazy thought. You guys back me up on this or tell me to shut the heck up. Do you feel like, okay, so I'm going to communicate with Farah and to reduce what you just explained to us and what we've figured out by looking at this. I'm like, okay, so reduction spell here, teleportation pad. What if we have to find the dang pawn in all of the piles? We have to figure out which pile that's in. Am I crazy? Am I like getting too far ahead of myself?
Maybe. My other thought is I gotta imagine Manitios very big. This could be also where they make everything in this maze, but I don't know.
What if the pawns or what if all the chess pieces are really giant and then they get shrunk down and put into a world? I don't know. There could be a lot of different things happening
I
here.
feel like there's a lot. I just hope that we don't have to find that chess piece as a needle in a haystack metaphor with all the piles of crap that we have to sift through in the other rooms.
Yeah,
How many rooms did we
don't
pass?
have time for that.
Oh, uncountable numbers of rooms.
Oh.
This hallway went on forever from what you could tell. Even if you were passing through doors, there never seemed to be an end. There's no way you would have found this room as a difference unless one of those creatures had showed you what was happening.
Our little fabric dude showed us this room, though.
Yeah, and
So
so this fabric monstrosity, by the way, kind of goes to sit in the corner by the door that you entered through and sort of collapses into a pile in the corner there, and does not seem to be willing to move any further towards those doors, those double doors at the end of the hall.
I'm going to give it the other sock as like a big thank you reward.
It opens up once again that burlap mouth and just, closes it around the sock and just like, and this one, it seems to maybe be full, so it takes its time. So it does that thing like dogs do with a bone where it like just like gnaws on one corner and then it's like, slowly pulling the sock apart into threads and slurping them up like spaghetti.
Oh, it's so cute.
That's cute.
Why doesn't my piles of dirty laundry
I know, right?
They're just work.
It's almost like this is a convenient thing for a hoarder to have. Weird.
All right, so these doors, is there any markings or anything on them? Or is it just plain?
No. The only thing that's weird about these doors is that they seem much nicer than the others. So they're like nice, rich mahogany with kind of bronzed handles. Very different from the bare bones stone that you've been dealing with so far.
Open that shit up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna refill my wine while Brittany's getting a new beer. So I'll be right back.
Oh, the anticipation.
Ah!
My wine.
There's so many weird things that this can be. That reduced circle.
Does anyone have that spell that's like, it's basically locate objects essentially, where it just lets you know when you're close to it? Oh, okay.
No, unfortunately, I can just heal things and blow it up. That's pretty much it. It's my niche.
I can set it all on fire or blow it all away.
Oh wow. Oh, actually, now would be a great time to open our giveaway since we're halfway through the episode here. So, thank you everybody so much for hanging out. So, as a reminder, we are giving away a set of RPG dice. RPG dice is made by Joe, who is my partner. So, I really appreciate all the support you give to RPG Dice. If you want to check out his website, rpgdice.com. Dice is spelled with a Y. And he makes custom sets and just lots of cool stuff. So we are giving away a set of these babies. Here, showing it off again. Whoa, look at these red and gold. So yeah, definitely enter to win. What is the code, Sage?
Exclamation point. Disco Inferno.
Oh my god, Disco Inferno,
because
everybody.
they look like fire.
Yeah, exclamation point, Disco Inferno. And a reminder, everybody, you have to stick around to the very end of the stream. That is when we are pulling the winner. So if you enter, you gotta stick around to pull and win these sweet, sweet dice. So thank you all. Yes, and find RPG Dice on Twitter at RPG_dice as well. Look at these sweet babies. Also, they all roll very well. I think the Maidens can attest that my rolls have gotten significantly better since I started rolling RPG Dice. So, so get on it. They do have the sharpest edges, Cara Bear, which is one of their fun. I'm holding them up
really
anyway.
Do it.
Oh wait,
These
and
are
of
my
course,
fancy Sailor Moon dice. That here they are.
Oh.
That RPG, Jesus Christ, whatever. I can't speak. My
Whatever the
lips are
hell.
frozen.
RPG Dice.
Also got
Look
them
at all.
from RPG Dice.
Can we just say RP Jesus Christ because they roll
Jesus
so well?
Christ.
RP Jesus Christ. It's good.
Wait.
Divine-
and look at the
divine
D6,
intervention.
everybody. Look at the D6. It's the pins
Stunning.
of fate. So people will know you're a real Venture Maidens fan if you have these dice. Sweet. So enter to win. We'll pull at the end. Cool. And that was our messaging. So yeah. So you open up the set of double doors, everybody.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Okay. So you open up those doors, and you see that there is a very large chamber beyond. There, again, like everywhere else in here, there aren't any lights, but there is a subtle glow that is coming from something on the far end of this room. So this very large room you can see is lined with a bunch of like work tables and shelving. Both in the center of the room you have these work tables, then all around the outside edges of this room are more of these long tables and stacked shelving that have jars and materials of all sorts. You see tools that are hanging up on pegboards all around the walls here. And then just beyond the work tables, there seems to be a big clear area in the center of this room, and you see kind of set up on blocks is this very, very large marble white thing that you realize as you focus in is shaped like a chess piece. You see that it is this gigantic block of marble that is maybe like 8 feet tall or so that has been carved in the shape of a rook. So you see those like crenulated edges up on the top that look like, the edges of a castle wall. And just beyond this clear space and where this piece is set up, you see that there are pools in the floor. And by these pools is a very large anvil. And once again, all around the anvil, there are a huge variety of blacksmithing tools, like tinker's tools, all sorts of things. And you see, 7 of these pools just in the floor, and that's where the glow is coming from, each of these pools.
I think we gotta forge our way out of here.
As in, finish out this rook.
Maybe, or because like at the last place it had a key that we took hold of, so maybe we gotta make a key, or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. How many? Oh, I think we're about to ask the same question. Go ahead.
How many pieces were we supposed to find again? Was it 7?
So there was, let's see, let me do some math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces, yes.
If I peer over into the pools, is it just like water, or can I like see something through it?
So the room is very long. So do you want to walk into the room and kind of get more details, get closer to these pools?
Yeah, but now I'm nervous about it, but sure.
It's a big room. Yeah, so you walk closer towards these pools. And now that you're on the other side of the work tables, you can kind of see the area that has the chess piece in a little bit more detail. You can see that carved into the floor, or inlaid into the floor rather, is this silver circle that completely encases the area around the chess piece. So it's maybe like a 20-foot radius, so pretty big, 40 by 40-foot circle here. This room that you're in extends maybe 200 feet back. So you can closer see this circle, and there's nothing else in the circle other than just this big marble block carved like a chess piece in the very center. And you can walk past that to where these pools are, and you see again there are 7 in total. And as you look down into them, you see that set to the side, there's this little like kind of bucket that has a like a soup ladle that's been set beside it. So each one has like a clean, nice soup ladle just resting on the side. And each pool, it doesn't look like water. It's sort of a viscous
Is it
goo
metal?
like material. No, it's odd when you look at it. It is sort of sparkly though, and seems thick. And in each of the pools has a slightly different color to them. So you can see like a tinge of red here, a tinge of green, pink, black around these 7 pools.
Magic detection.
Yes. As you were looking about the room, you see that there is certainly magic in the circle that surrounds the floor here. It does seem to be some kind of protection magic or encasing, the same kind of thing you would use for like trapping something inside, circle of power sort of thing, just to contain energy or being, things like that. And then as you look at each of these kind of wells, these pools, you see that there is like just a raw, ferocious amount of magic coming from each of these things. And it's not like a school of magic. It appears to be like raw power sitting in each of these wells. And they're all slightly different, but of the same kind of rawness that you wouldn't be able to discern what exactly is different about each of these things.
Well, that's going to get communicated real quick.
Woo!
Guys, think about that.
The anvil is also magical. That is next to all of these pools.
There's one anvil, or there's an individual anvil for each pool?
There's one big anvil kind of set at the end of them all.
Well,
I definitely want to go over to the anvil and look at that more.
Sure.
Check that out.
Why don't you go ahead and give me
Investigation?
Yeah. And let's give you stone cutting on there. So you want to add like proficiency to this? Or roll with advantage, maybe?
Both 11s. For a grand total of... Oh, you know what? I'll cast guidance on myself.
Yay.
Sorry, I left you hanging.
How dare you? So that is a grand total of 17.
Okay. You are looking at this anvil, and it is of the best craftsmanship you have ever seen. You would be honored to smith something on this anvil. That being said, you can recognize some of the components in this anvil. You think maybe mithril was involved, adamantine, like a lot of these extremely rare and powerful metals that you would identify as being particularly resistant to magic. So you feel like you could probably forge magic items on this anvil without destroying it, which is a very rare and interesting thing to find.
Kara is going to take out her smith's tools, and she's going to set them on top of the anvil. And then she is going to take out like a piece of charcoal from her bag, and she's gonna like smother it on like her hands, and like feel the gritty grime of like the charcoal dust on her skin, and she's gonna say a prayer to Moradin as she like beholds this amazing like powerful object. And then she's gonna go and she's gonna more closely examine all the different pools of liquid, and she's like, guys, we can make magic shit here.
Should we?
Totally.
I can't. Is
So-
this Manitios's workshop? Because I don't know if they come back and we're just using their shit, if it's gonna be the best introduction.
We
Oh,
might
wow.
have to use this in order to meet her.
She's placed it in this maze. I mean, we need to get out of here somehow, and she fully
Yeah.
expected us to collect these
Yeah.
chess pieces in order to make our way to them.
Also, I look at Car and I'm like, you want to give us the Great Courses Plus 101 on how to make magic?
Only
Smithing
Kara.
101.
Yeah.
With Kara.
So Kara, as you look at these pools, the only thing that seems to be different about them is that subtle color that each one seems to have. So
Mhm.
from left to right, the pools are red, blue, green, white, pink, silver, and black.
Red, blue,
Green, white,
green.
pink, silver, and black. And that's the order of them left to right. So while Kara is running about looking at all of these pools, is anyone else doing anything? It's a pretty big room. Again, there are all of those work tables that seem to have a smattering of objects strewn about them. This is not a pristine workshop by any means. This is clearly something that sees pretty regular use, and maybe whoever keeps it is quite messy, just based on the amount of like papers and wood shavings and tools that have been left out, as well as just the racks and racks of different jars and materials and bottles and tools all around the place.
Oh. I want to look through the papers and see if any of those notes look remotely like the armor that Rem's wearing.
Oh, okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me an investigation check, I guess, as you're kind of digging through the papers and seeing what's what.
Ooh la la, ooh la la. What is that? Investigation is a 25.
Okay. So as you're looking through the papers, you start to rifle through, and immediately you do notice that it is the same handwriting and like drawing style on all of these papers. So clearly it is one person who uses this workshop. And it is this very sort of blocky hand, and once again, everything is written in that very archaic sort of style of language. What languages do you speak, Arnadel?
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Primordial, and Telepathy.
Okay. You would recognize this as like a very weird form of Draconic, I think.
That's interesting.
Well, you know that Draconic was one of the first languages ever spoken. Just dragons are very old beings, along with a lot of the other sort of beings out there. So it would sort of make sense to you. Draconic is also the language of magic in general.
So with the intention of looking for specific schematics, I'm assuming I didn't really find anything, but what I did find was a unified handwriting and that I could identify the handwriting.
No, so that was just the first thing. So
Oh.
as you were looking through, the first thing you notice is that this was one person who was writing in very ancient Draconic. The next thing you notice is that most of what you see here is not the final product on anything. You don't find any like books of schematics. You're not finding like, Da Vinci's diary of like good ideas here. What you're seeing is like, the little scrawled math equations and the rough sketches of somebody who's working on new things that are coming to mind. So you can pretty quickly assess that you're not going to find like anything finished in this place.
Just a sketchbook.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing you're finding.
Right.
But you do
Thumbnail.
see, a lot of these materials look very old and covered in sawdust, quite honestly. The only section that seems very fresh is on one of the tables that's very close to this circle that contains this chess piece. And you find just like a quick jotted note that kind of catches your attention. It's been like cleared away with new tools and kind of laid out here, waiting for somebody to come back, almost like a checklist. And it says, first ignite, quench then mold, blow then balance, give the spark, add the flavor.
First ignite, then quench and mold.
First ignite, quench, then mold, blow, then balance, give the spark, add the flavor. And I just posted that in the Zoom chat.
Thank you.
Damn, I just finished writing it.
I know. I was like trying to type.
Sorry,
as
I
quick
was
as
typing it and then like trying to... I should have said
Oh, well,
that.
I mean, that's like...
It's very like, clearly it was note to remember that you just see is like sort of been left on this table.
I feel like they're... Dare I say, they are instructions.
And Kara, so you have looked at all of these pools. You have assessed these 7 colors. What are you up to? Oh, I think you're muted. Oh, there we go. Heard you. Sorry.
And then so she you said that there was the rook here in this room, right?
Yeah, so it's like this, it's very different from the pieces you've seen so far. This thing stands maybe like 9-10 feet tall and literally looks like a carved statue from a block of marble. And, it has been well carved, but it certainly doesn't animate or activate the way you have seen the rest of these pieces do. There's nothing about this thing that has any semblance of life. So it's quite different from the other pieces you've encountered.
And so looking at the doors that we came in through that led to the teleportation circle, it doesn't look like you could fit through those doors, right?
No. I mean, well, it could if you turned it on its side and you walked it through. Yeah.
Kara is going to say to everyone, if you all said that teleportation circle also had a reduced on it, if we can get this guy, she points to the rook, into that teleportation circle, maybe it'll make it small.
Hey, hold on, Kara. I found this. I was looking at the notes all over the place, and I think this is important. And I think because you know how all this stuff works, I think this would be better for you to look at.
I will say, too, I think Arnadel and Farah, you had enough understanding of the reduced quality on the teleport that it looked like whoever came through the teleport from the other side would be reduced. So if you were to put something in this circle, it wouldn't have any effect on size.
It's like an exit only.
Oh, okay.
So presumably somebody from the other side is very large, and they would come to this circle, and they would get small enough to fit in this space.
Oh my god! Well, wait. Oh, ew! I don't like it. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna hand those notes to you, Kara, and just be like, "Do you read Draconic?"
I mean, you can scroll it out really quickly. It's a piece
I'll
of paper.
just hold on. Let me transcribe real quick.
It's very quick notes.
Yeah, and I hand it over to you, and I'm like, so yeah, like, looks like instructions, right?
By the anvil, was there like a forge or anything, or was it just an anvil?
It's just an anvil, which is sort of weird.
Okay.
So you
Do
don't
we
need to
have
melt
to-
down anything, it seems like.
Find a magic hammer.
I think. Okay. Oh, I thought I
Okay,
was
go ahead.
muted for a second. I think we have the tools here, with these pools of liquid. I assume you share the little riddle with all of us, Arnadel, and just because based on the colors and the buzzwords in that little scribble, I've just assigned meaning to them myself, which is arbitrary until we test it out. I believe we should try to use the red liquid as fire to ignite and melt anything down. Obviously quench I have assigned to blue. Mold and balance, however, I feel like are kind of interchangeable between green and black because they
Yeah, I
can
wrote
both
down-
be mold.
Yeah, I
Mm.
wrote down black for mold.
Mm-hmm.
I kind
And
of think
yeah.
for balance because it's everything.
I think maybe green for balance because nature is like a very balanced thing.
Yeah, I mean,
nature
yeah,
keeps
exactly.
itself in check.
Yeah, and I figured black for balance in terms of like there's always dark with the light, and that's how you achieve balance. A gray Jedi, and so
Would
forth.
blow
you know?
be silver for the wind?
I said white for the wind, and I said spark for the silver.
Well, what's flavor? The thing
I-
that we want to enchant?
Pepperonis, which are in
I
a
said
jar over
pink,
here.
which just because it's kind of the leftover color, and I had to assign it something.
I don't know. Arnadil, just to throw the devil's advocate here, rather than these things being just a wild thought, rather than them being assigned to the things that are said in that poem, I feel like those are more instructions that can be applied to any one of these pools.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
Right? Like, I'm not, that's my interpretation of it. I was thinking more of like, if we had a thing that we wanted to make, we could figure out, I was thinking maybe these pools gave a particular quality and that we didn't have to use all of them. We would just pick one.
My one thing is that I just feel like it's so convenient that there's 7 steps in the instructions and 7 pools.
Yeah,
That
For,
feels right.
yeah. I have red, blue, black, silver, white, green, pink. For my selection.
Wait,
of
wait,
cord-
what?
of
I
color
think
order.
green. The reason I say green for mold is because I think of like earth and like rock is earth and like I don't know.
That's why I put green for spark, because like the spark of life in like green being life. That was my reason.
How
But, yeah.
interesting how we all interpret these things.
Oh, how
Indeed,
interesting.
indeed.
Mm.
Oh, I'm out of drink.
Hmm.
The flavor.
Well, we should process of elimination start with what we assume to be
Wait.
true.
Are there, I didn't come across any things in the sketchbook notes that are strewn across the floor.
About more about this specific thing? I don't think so. This was
Okay.
like clearly the only kind of notes you've got. You do find like a reference drawing of what a rook chess piece looks like. That someone must have used when carving this block. You find like measurements and like something you would make before you do a sculpture. Like
It's just a regular ass marble, 8-foot tall marble sculpture.
somebody looked like, yeah, that was their intention when they carved this thing.
This person, do you guys think that this person's trying to also get out? Maybe they've been trapped here and they're trying to get out and they know that that's what they're looking for as well. And since they couldn't find it, they were trying to make their own.
Totally possible. But either way, this is what Manitios does, isn't it? I mean, making these games and puzzles and traps.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was
So-
for
I
herself
wonder why
or
it's not finished.
Maybe she wasn't
Well,
expecting
I mean-
visitors.
I guess we'll just do it. and see what happens. I really don't want to be wrong if Arnie says that these are just raw pools of power. That kind of terrifies
Oh yeah,
me.
they're
It is. I
This
did
is
tell
a
you
big
that
deal.
they
That's
are
what-
raw pools of
That's what
power.
I'm saying. That's why I'm terrified.
But they
That's
have
why
ladles. They come with their own ladle.
Girl,
They're meant to be
You know what?
accessed.
Let's sit
no,
down
that's
and
not how
have some
magic
soup.
works.
This is the
That's
chili
how
of
ladles
magic.
work.
It's for everybody. Every
I
meal,
mean-
chili is always appropriate.
No. I speak personally. So not.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong with chili?
Uh,
Oh.
One time as a child, I got food poisoning.
Oh no, explosive.
or just having a sensitive stomach in general.
yeah, no.
Love me some chili. I'm so sorry for
I mean,
all
I
of
do
it.
Yeah, I know.
No, I
I'm
love
Chili
vegetarian,
chili.
so I basically
I'm not
live
sorry
off
for
of chili.
myself. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
I
for
know.
whoever has to live with
I'm
me.
starving now.
If I live alone.
Anyway, Car is going to, with each of these ladles, she is going to. First, she's gonna take a ladle full of red sparkle liquid.
Okay. As you
And-
do so,
Yeah.
you bend down to dip the ladle into this pool, and as you put it, it is sort of the texture of almost jello, like when you break that viscous seal on the very top of it, and you see that the liquid itself starts to kind of quiver and move. It has a very flubber kind of quality, as it almost climbs into the ladle itself. It seems to have some kind of active energy to it as it sits in there and crams itself inside, like it wants to be lifted out and used.
It's consenting.
It wants it. Okay, so she's gonna lift out this scoop of red,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna put it on the anvil.
Okay. And as you do so, it kind of splooshes on board there, and it moves around. Once again, it's like slime, how it kind of contracts and moves and sort of rolls, coating the top of this anvil, waiting for something to happen.
And then she's gonna go and she's gonna do the same for. Next is gonna be blue.
Okay. So you go and you get very much the same reaction from blue. So whatever this stuff is, it's very eager to be used. And as you go and slurp it down onto the anvil, the red stuff retreats very far to the far side of the anvil, and then the blue, as it gets down, and it sort of starts to circle each other in a way. It's like watching amoebas fight each other as they go, and they circle around like yin and yang, almost like sort of shooting tendrils of this goo out at each other, but they pile up and don't seem to want to connect at all, as they just keep dancing and chasing each other around the surface of this anvil.
Are the rest of you saying this? This is pretty weird.
It is very weird to watch.
Well, I
goo
mean,
fight.
fire and water don't want to mix, right?
I mean, it's the second step. First, ignite, quench, then mold.
That doesn't make logical sense to me. We put red goo and blue goo, and they really don't want to interact. And I still don't see how this.
Maybe we need to have. I mean, are they on the anvil by themselves, or are they on top of a weapon, or do we need to
They're just on the
attach them
anvil
to something?
by themselves. You
surface
haven't
of the
tried to put
anvil.
anything down on the anvil.
I will put my short sword down. I have just a nice solid short sword. I don't really reach for it very much, so why don't I do that? I thought I had a short sword.
I'm sure you do. You have so many. Okay, so your short sword, is it magical? Or is it just a normal short sword?
There it is. Yeah. It's just a normal short sword.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a percentile die?
Oh. 48%.
Okay. So as you kind of, what are you doing exactly with the short sword? You see these two goo factions are circling around each other. So what are you doing with the sword?
I guess I'm gently and slowly trying to place it top down onto the anvil where they're circling.
Okay. And you do, and as you lay the flat of the blade, just against the anvil here, you see both of these energy forces race towards this blade in an instant, and you see that the red manages to be just a little bit quicker than the blue as it jumps into your sword, and you see the blade becomes coated in this like pulsing red for a moment, and the blue recoils from it as you see this orange tint now adorns your blade. And blue stays very far away from it now on the far side. But the red jelly has been consumed completely.
Oh my.
What is happening?
Do you pick up your blade?
I'm scared. Should we try a different liquid first?
Okay. No, I got it.
Pick
You
up
do
your
red. You put red, and then you quench it with blue, and then mold. You want it to be a shiny metal weapon, so it's got to be silver. And then you blow on it with white, and then you balance it with black, and then give it the spark of life with green, and then add pink for flavor. That's my guess.
All right. But the blue ran away.
Flavor.
I mean, this jello
The blue
thing
is not incorporating into the sword.
just
The blue is
scurried
very
right
far.
off.
Come on, buddy.
Mm.
Quench. Quench. Bear's like,
I'm gonna give you a little detail here, Saye. I think as you're holding this sword and you see it has been transformed, if you move or shift it in any way, you see this coat of flame lines around your blade. This is now a flaming short sword, so whenever you hit with the sword, you will deal an extra d8 of fire damage. Your short
Oh.
sword has become a magical item.
Incredible.
ooh.
Wait, what if
Cool.
it's not that we have to do this with the same thing? Between all of us, do we have 7 items?
I got
Yeah, definitely.
daggers.
Yo, same.
Casters.
I also have a dagger as well. Someone
I
else,
have my,
please.
Yeah, I have my plain great axe, my 2 hand axes, and a javelin. So we can definitely.
Okay. So do we want to go ahead and kind of repeat the process and dip a weapon in, put a thing on the anvil, dip a weapon in, and see what happens?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
and we're gonna go with blue next. It's just like a singular color.
Blue is still
sure.
dancing around on the anvil, and it seems to chill out. The minute you take the short sword off, blue is like cool and like all over the anvil once again, kind of.
You chill, bro?
Yeah, you get the sense that it is eager to do the same thing that red did.
Mm-hmm.
With a
Carl
Yeah.
throw down
a
her
non-red
javelin.
infected
Exactly.
item.
Yeah. Now that the item has been touched with energy, you feel like none of the other energies are going to work.
Hey,
So we
Yeah,
want to
who,
dip. Who's dipping a blue?
throw down a javelin and dip it in blue.
Okay. As you do
I'm gonna
so,
be honest, I want to call dibs on Spark, please.
as you dip the blue, you pull away your weapon. Same thing happens; it absorbs into the weapon. This becomes a magical weapon that deals 1d6 cold damage, in addition to its normal damage.
I'm kind of curious about the pink.
Yeah.
I know all the other ones. I'm like, what are they gonna do?
I know.
Okay. Somebody want to dip green? What do we got?
Sure.
We should. Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Wait,
Silver,
did we
green
decide
for
green
mold.
is next for mold? I thought you wanted green for spark.
I don't know.
That's-
I'm just
yeah,
doing
that was
red,
my
blue, green.
Oh, I thought.
Okay, we can call it out too. Okay, who wants to dip what? Let's do it. Let's get
I
funky
already
fresh.
said I want to dip for Spark.
Okay. What does that mean to you? Which color does that mean?
Well, silver made sense to me, and I have 1 dagger.
Right.
Okay. So as you dip your dagger into the silver fluid, you see the surface of it changes and then subtly glows with almost a holy light, and your dagger deals radiant damage.
Oh.
1d6 radiant damage.
Mm.
I kind of look at Farrah and I'm just like,
Tight.
I could trade. Like, that's not what I was expecting, but now we know. So if you want to trade these, I'll trade these with you.
Well, let's see. I'm really curious about the pink. I would like
Okay.
to do the pink on the dagger.
Dope,
Okay.
dope, dope.
As you dip the dagger in, you realize pink does necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Ew! I do not like the implications of that. I'm just thinking
Not
of
what I was
flesh.
expecting either.
Yeah,
Um.
pink and silver.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather keep necrotic because I don't have as much necrotic damage as I do.
Okay.
I got a lot of radiant, just oozing radiance.
I have like a weird mix of both. I'm not. We could talk about it later.
Yeah. I mean, we can trade on the weekends for sure.
Oh, I just no. I was more thinking of like phone a friend. Like,
Oh, I mean, whatever works.
I don't know how I feel
Keep
about
it
all
cash.
that. Yeah.
How many are left? We did.
You haven't dipped green,
white and black and green.
white or black. Yeah.
So Kara will dip a hammer into white.
Okay, and as you dip a hammer into white, you see the blade crackles with electric energy as you are going to deal lightning damage.
I look over at you with light in my eyes. I'm
Lust.
like, Kara.
I mean, you all have
Okay.
only dipped weapons. Who even knows what your other stuff would do?
I don't care. It could be a ball peen hammer for like making egg cartons. I don't care.
I lost my shirt, so I'm not sure what else to dip.
Dip.
Your bra.
Well,
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
Balance it
excuse me,
out.
ladies. I gotta try something for a second.
Oh, welcome, Raiders. We're dipping our bras into magical components to see what happens. Yay, raid!
That's a power.
Well, you know what? We made a promise. We're gonna keep it.
Yep.
Saya starts unwrapping her
boob
chest
bands.
piece,
Yeah.
her boob bands, and she will drench it into. I want to go for the black.
Okay. As you dip your chest piece into the black, you see the black slithers over the surface and then comes into the bandages here, and it seems to shine with multicolored hues, changing rapidly from color to color, almost like oil.
It's like oil.
Yeah. As you look at it.
Flavor.
So whenever you wear this, you are going to have damage resistant 10. And
Whoa.
I will
Shit.
roll what it is at the start of every battle.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Dang.
It'll change? Wow.
It changes.
So maybe that's balance.
So wait, damage resistant 10. Does that mean that obviously depending on the damage?
So, like,
goes
if
to
you
my
got-
AC?
If it was fire and you got hit by a fire attack, and the fire attack did 23 points of damage, you would only take 13 points of damage.
Damn.
My goodness.
That's sick.
When I got a sexy black bra that changes color, it's like holographic. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we
It does.
all
It looks
dip
like
some shit
graphite.
there?
Yeah, the bandages change to that like shifting hues, and you can't predict what color it's going to be next. It doesn't seem to follow any kind of pattern. It just sort of shifts
That's real cool.
at its own will.
Wow.
Kara's gonna take off her mithril armor, and she's gonna dip it in the green,
As
like the breastplate.
Yeah. So as you dip it into green, you see it turns sort of like a muddy brown color for a moment as it shifts and absorbs. And this may not be the best for you, but you have damage resistant 10 to bludgeoning and slashing damage now, as you see like the stone of this sort of bulks up. So basically, I'll never be able to hit you again with bludgeoning or slashing. Or piercing, sorry, as well. It is more like stone than ever before.
This shit's cool. We should dip all of our shit in this shit.
I mean,
Fuck, dip me, dude.
so did we determine that red is fire, blue is cold, silver radiant, pink necrotic, black balance, green mold?
Did we do blue?
Yeah, cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cold.
Yeah, my
I will also
Javelin.
remind you that damage types may not be purely representative of what these things are, but this is certainly what it did to your magic items, which is a clue. But damage types in Dungeons and Dragons aren't necessarily related to what you think they might be.
So, okay, well, just what we can. This gives us a bit of a more funneled
So I will say, like, red
perspective.
did
Ignite.
fire damage, so you can clearly say that red is fire. But things like blue for being cold,
And quenching does not. Would
like
we say that?
water you could just safely assume blue means water to deal cold damage, which is like ice and things like that. So if you get my drift there.
Black did really feel like balance to me. The fact that it
yeah,
changed.
I definitely think
Yeah.
it's white and then black.
White was
Oh, it's electricity.
spark. White was still spark though, right? That was electricity.
No, that was
Silver
the
was
bludgeoning
radiant.
No,
slashing.
we originally guessed silver was spark, but white was the spark. It because that's what. Dealt
Yeah.
the-
Right. I got silver, which was radiant damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which. What would that be?
My brain. Okay.
Puzzles.
So
Bold?
red, blue, low.
Green.
Or did
Green was like earth.
Yeah.
Maybe blow doesn't mean like air, but like taking a blow. I don't know.
right the bludgeoning that could have been green.
Yeah, like what do we say when you
Yeah.
like get
yeah,
hit with something?
Yeah.
You take a blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
She had to get up and leave. 'cause she
Green.
knows we- Right.
Mold, right? Or no, green.
Yeah, the
green was
green.
bold or blow.
Blow.
Yeah.
So what? Mold.
I was gonna say for the white. Or no. Which one was it that did the this radiant silver?
Silver.
Silver.
I'm just gonna guess that's for mold because it mold and dead things, and radiant damage does damage to dead things.
Yeah.
Well-
I kind of see it as like the opposite of necrotic, where if you're molding, you're creating instead of killing, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Say
Oh, that one's a
mold
little
for
bit.
necrotic.
Well, wait. Okay, let's. Yeah, I say the double entendre of like mold and necrotic, but like balance. What do you think balance should be?
Black.
That's definitely
Black.
black.
Black. Okay.
Black
Okay.
is the
Oh, I
pink
wrote
one.
that down too. So pink is gonna be
I think pink is mold.
mold. Okay, I'm
With
down to
necrotic.
agree with that. Yeah, that makes sense. Mold is definitely necrotic. It likes to decompose things. So blue quench, silver. What did we say silver was? Blow? No,
It's the give the wait, silver is
we didn't agree on
oh,
silver
what is
yet.
silver?
Should we? That leaves us with flavor.
That was the
That
red.
leaves us with flavor.
If
Yeah.
you would like to start testing things out, I will say,
Yeah.
clearly what you're putting on the anvil is to make magic items, and the statue itself is a little bit further away from this. So if you would like to get the energies to interact somehow with the statue, we can certainly start that process.
Meaning that we now have the keys and we have to put them in the correct order.
Is there like anything, like any spots for us to put them, or are we just gonna like lightly graze the statue with them?
There doesn't seem to be any kind of receptacles around the statue. Again, in the big silver inlaid circle,
Mhm.
there's nothing, and then just in the very center is this tall marble statue of a chess piece.
Cool.
Well, I look at Saya because you still have your red short sword, right? Your flamey. Like,
Oh yeah, you
Just-
all have your magic items now.
let's just. You want to put that in? I mean,
You want me to hit the marble with it?
It's in a circle, right? You said there's like a ring around it. I think usually the way like from what I'm used to with magic, you just put it in the circle.
Oh. Okay. I'll put the sword down into
Magic
the circle.
loves circles.
Okay.
It just loves it.
As you pass through the circle, you're reaching your hand down to kind of put the sword inside. You feel a very distinct kind of tingling sensation once you cross over that wall. It's the tingling that indicates that there's some kind of power concealed inside this circle. So, it's stepping from like normal air into a static electric charged field. So you feel that. And as you lay down the sword and kind of retreat your hand back, you see your sword starts to shudder, and you see the golden glow that has come into your weapon now dissipates, as just this red goo is kind of tugged out of the circle and pulled almost like a gravitational pull towards this piece. And as the red like slimes up and it moves to encase this chess piece, and you see it ignites into flame and just continues to burn with this magical quality. As you look down at your sword, that now just appears again to be a normal short sword.
Dang it, I'm gonna walk over to the pool and dip it again.
Sure, you pull back your sword, your normal boring sword. Are you dipping it into the pool?
Isn't that what everyone was doing with our stuff?
No,
you had to
we're
ladle it
ladling
onto
what's
the
on top of it.
anvil.
Okay, I'm just dressing it with the
I think
with the Jell-O.
Kara would probably be able to tell you, I don't do that, because
Yeah.
it's like sticking a full ass sword into like a bucket of flaming death, as opposed to like putting
Taking
it
a little
nicely
snubby
in.
nub.
Understood.
Car's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So you
Not a
can't do
good
that.
choice.
Yeah, and once again, the red graciously moves into your sword, and it can be magic once again. But it seems like whatever you put in the circle just needs the energy. It's not interested in the magic items you're creating.
Kara's gonna take a scoop of blue and put it in the circle.
Okay. And as you do, you kind of scoop the jelly substance into the circle, which begins to like climb and be pulled the same way the red was. And the red like bursts up into flames like furiously as the blue begins to move and pool over it. And then it's just this like misty cloud that happens as this surface of blue now coats the chess piece. And the red is
Wenches.
gone.
All right. now
Mold,
we start
pink.
getting-
Did we agree that pink was mold, right?
I think if pink does necrotic stuff, then yeah, pink.
I think so too.
Either pink or white, but we'll find out soon enough.
Pink, 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 pink.
All right. So you go ahead and you drop pink into the mix here. And you see this horrible phenomenon that looks like as the pink goes towards it, the blue like launches itself out of the statue. And just like they did before on a smaller scale where they were starting to fight, these two forces run at each other, and there is this spray of pink that happens, almost like a coating of blood around this circle, this invisible barrier, as you see both of these elements have completely dissolved. And when the battlefield is cleared, nothing remains on the statue.
Oh, okay, cool. So
This makes it easier.
yes,
That's
now
not
we
so
know what the
bad.
consequence is.
Okay.
All right, so
So-
then red, then blue.
So red ignite.
Okay, red, you drop it in on fire. Blue, you follow in, quenches out the fire. So you have blue left.
White was the bludgeoning, piercing, whatever one, right?
That was
No,
black.
that
the
was green.
spark.
Oh, green.
That was
That was
green.
green.
I think green then. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Green for mold.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we decided green was the blow.
But
So now we have to
uh,
reconvene. Now we have pink available.
so pink didn't work for mold.
Pink did not work for mold.
So
We're trying
pink
to figure
either
out
has
mold.
to be spark or flavor. So the ones that we were unsure about were pink, silver.
I say we try
And
silver first. I
green.
feel like silver is more
Okay.
difficult to place than green is.
Because you would
Yeah.
mold.
Silver.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. All right, so you send silver into the mix, and the same kind of violent explosion happens, and things are
Damn it.
reset.
All right, so then red, blue, green.
Okay, is that what we're trying? All right,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so as you send the red in, it ignites into flame. The blue quenches the flame. And then as you send the green in, you see it climbs up onto the blue statue, and packed molded earth surrounds the statue now. So you have a complete molded shape of earth that has now quenched or put out the blue.
And I think white, black, silver, pink.
So red, blue, green, and then white.
White, yeah, because then you have below, then balance. You have white and then black so that they balance each other out. So white.
What did the white do again? I had a mixed up.
It was
with that.
electricity.
Well, I
Which
think
is
that's spark.
The spark of life could be related to
I do white.
radiance.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
would, yeah, do white. Yeah.
We're gonna process through elimination. We're either gonna be right or we're gonna wrong. There's no harm in trying.
All right. As you dump white into the mix, a swirling wind starts to fill this space here, and you see the flecks of molded earth begin to shoot off of this thing, and now just a white swirling energy exists inside of this thing. So white seemed to be the correct choice.
Cute.
Black.
Then black. Yeah.
Okay. And as you dump black into the mix, black goes in there and black begins to rot and decay at the winds around of it. And as it fights back here, it explodes once again in a clear failure.
Okay. Not black.
Black is not balanced.
All right, red, blue, green, white.
It's either
And
pink or
then-
silver.
Yeah.
And they
Uh,
could both mean balance in my head, just in terms of the fact that
I
they're
think
mixed
that
colors.
Nick, death is balance.
I do
Death
too.
brings balance to life.
Pink.
I would be, yeah.
You repeat the steps, and as you do, you get back to that air swirling result. And as you introduce pink to the mix, everything explodes apart once again in another failure.
Damn, that was a really
Silver.
good. All right.
All right, red, blue, green, white, silver.
All right. As you introduce silver into the mix, you see that the winds are quelled as order is established in this place, and a gentle, calming breeze moves through. So silver seems to be the order that was needed to quell the elements.
So we
Black and green.
have black and green left.
Or sorry.
Black and pink.
Black and pink. And we. I'm also worried that if we try too many times, it's gonna lock us out.
We've tried so many already.
I
It's,
know.
I do black.
Yeah.
Okay. As you dip black into the mix, black and silver you see is probably the most violent explosion of all, as these two forces that are diametrically opposed war with each other and then explode.
All right, red, blue, green, white, silver, pink.
All right.
Black.
Pink. As you introduce pink into the mix after following all the other steps you have learned, you see that pink moves towards the statue now into this field of order you have already established. And the marble statue at the center begins to move and shift, and you see limbs start to pop out and develop the same way the other keepers did as it begins to animate. But it's not quite there, as you have given it the spark of life.
Black.
All right. And with black, as you add the flavor, the chaos that makes things what they are, the black crawls into this center of white that begins to spiral and move around the pink of life as this thing begins to move and shift and is now a fully animate creature, like the ones you have seen before, as it rests on its pedestal up above and begins to kind of shift and turn around, looking at you all as it is newly born.
Baby.
Yeah, and you see it, it drops again, like the others, you know, it kind of creates this mouth shape for itself and is like, ooh,
Kara holds out gimme hands and is just like motioning towards the thing, like gimme.
Hello.
As it listens to you, it seems like it's just making lots of noises now that it can. And you start, to speak to it, and it says, hello. And it kind of climbs off of, its pedestal, sort of stumbling with its, arms that pop out of the sides of it, like investigating what it is and the floor. And it kind of crawls towards you on the ground, not really sure how to stand up yet, if it's safe. And you see that this thing like shrinks down to sort of that 5-6 foot, normal human size that its others have been, as it moves towards the edge of the circle, and kind of looks at it and then steps over, heading towards you all because you're making grabby hands, so it's very excited by that. So it comes over the circle and is standing by you all.
Oh my god, we're moms.
We did this.
Magic.
I reach
Put
out
out-
and put a hand on it.
Yeah. And as you do so, you grasp hands with it. And the same as what has happened before, you find yourselves transported. And you are standing once again in front of this gate that you entered, it seems like only moments before. And in your hand now, you have that very small white rook, which is the final piece that you needed. So now all you have to do is head back to the center of the maze and rendezvous with your good friend Chess.
There you say they're a good friend.
And that's where we're going to end the episode. Our good friend. That's where we're going to end the episode. So that means it is time to pull our giveaway winner. All right, Sage, I'm handing it off to you for the winner of this lovely set of dice, which you can see right here from RPG Dice. Check out RPG_dice with a Y on Twitter. All right, we're gonna pull it. We're gonna pull
Rob
it.
Goblin, are you here?
Rob
Tell us.
Goblin, tell us if you're
Rob
here. Send us a
Goblin.
message. Say hi, I'm here, and then message us and get your stuff. Oh, everybody's like, yay! Can't go to sleep. Yeah. Tell us you're here, friend. Let us know in the chat. While we wait for that, thank you everybody so much for being here, for solving all my puzzles.
That was good. That
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
really good time. So yeah, in the very end, silver radiant damage was order, black damage resistance that shifted around was chaos. So you had your 4 elements, and then pink was life, of course, and we had silver and black for chaos.
Here, so let's draw
makes
another
sense.
entrant.
All right, I think we're drawing another one. So
Life is barred.
Life is barred. Oh my gosh.
Fun.
Good friend of the show. We're gonna load you up with all these dice. Yes. All right, let us know you're here. Give us a shout out. Woo! Thank you all for joining us for this episode of the Venture Maidens, for sticking around and participating in this awesome giveaway. I have been your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I have been your moon elf warlock Arnadel, filled by Brittany.
I am Katie, and I played your new mama, Fairvalin.
Your new mom. Just mom.
And I'm Nassim. I played your friendly neighborhood human monk, Cyanur. Telling you that laundry's not so scary.
It's not. It's sweet. It's nice. Just feed it a
Not so
sock.
bad.
And I am Sage, and I have been your crafting cleric and barbarian, Cara Brunhilde.
Yay! Thank you all. If this was your first time here joining us for Venture Maidens, welcome. We are a podcast that publishes new episodes bi-weekly, so every other Sunday you can find this good content, except polished and shorter, on podcast feeds anywhere you can find them. And also, you can follow us on social media to keep up with all the cool things we're doing. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the things at Venture Maidens. And we have a bunch of other programming that's always happening here. So, Sage, why don't you tell the people what's happening on Friday?
Yes, our 8th of our 10th episode of The Rising Hunger, our gothic horror actual play that we do with some positively fantastic folks here on the Venture Maidens channel on weekly Friday, so this Friday included, from 6 to 8 p.m. PST.
PST. Yes. And if you want to hang out Saturday, Halloween, I'm going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be playing in a stream of Among Us, which is a very creepy space game all about betrayal. So you could find that happening on Lisa Penrose's channel. You should follow Lisa Penrose just for all good things. In general, she does a lot of gentle gaming streaming and tarot streams and all kinds of good stuff. So you can check me out there on Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then, Nassim, why don't you tell us what's happening on Tuesday?
Well, Tuesday, you can go and vote. And then if you're still in
Vote.
line, you can hang out with me while I stream at 6 o'clock Pacific time, playing maybe Sims, maybe just something new and fresh since we just had our little Halloween bash. But yeah, I'll be Let's playing some video games and you should hang out.
Yes, so check that out, and please, if you do enjoy the show, consider becoming a patron donor. On our Patreon account, we have a bunch of cool things, including all the podcast audio from Sage's show, Rise of Hunger, and then Katie makes coloring book pages that are so great, and I'm about to post the one for October. I love coloring as an adult, so please get in there and enjoy that. We're also coming up soon with our Venture Zine number 2. Also, as a reminder, we are ending the cover contest in just a few days. So if you would like to submit art to be on the cover of the Venture Maiden Zine edition 2, please just go ahead and email us some submissions. venturemaidens@gmail.com. Has to be black and white, but there are some more details also on our Twitter page if you want to check that out. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. And until next time...
Venture
away!
away!
Venture away, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Go vote.
Bye now.
Goodbye.